Top-ranked promoter Bob Arum responds to Eddie Hearns, who said he would get in the way and block Wilder Fury 2 from happening to give Dillian Whyte his right mandatory shot. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Now, I watched an interview with Bob Arum, link in the description, and he was, per usual, playing no games. He was asked about, the comments made by Eddie Hearn on the same channel, on the same YouTube channel previously. Eddie Hearn made mention that if his fighter, he said has been waiting 500, 600 days without the mandatory being called, he would, take it a step further. If they try to make Wilder Fury 2 next year, he would basically get in the way and cock block the fight and prevent the fight from happening. And if they still try to press forward with the Wilder Fury 2, he would up the ante and basically sue the WBC for not giving his fighter Dillian Whyte. Now, a lot of people have responded to this. I made a video about it. It sounds very desperate from Rematch Room and Eddie Hearn. It really does. Because you have to understand, just legalities. I've already talked about it. You can look at my old videos. Just bottom line, what are you suing for? Wilder fought his mandatory May 18th against Dominic Breazeale. That's who they said was the mandatory. They've had these situations where there's more than one person who is rated number one. Dillian Whyte has not fought in an eliminator. So anyway, they get to asking Bob Arum about his thoughts, and Bob Arum is really the Bob father, like OG Bobby Arum. He basically just laughed at it and said good luck to Eddie. And the way if you watch it, it's about the 9-minute mark. Just watch it from about 8 minutes or 45 seconds on, and you'll be able to see it because it's a lengthier interview. But the way Bob Arum, if you look at his facial expression, he didn't bat an eyelash. He didn't look worried. He didn't look, how some people, when something happens, they'll try to put on a poker face, but you could tell they're worried. Like, he genuinely, I'm not a psychologist or whatever, but he genuinely looked unbothered by this news, and Eddie Hearn stating he would attempt to get in the way of Wilder Fury 2 happening. He kind of mugged it off and just looked like, you just got to watch it. He just looked like he was that confident that Eddie wouldn't be able to do anything. And he's like, good luck. He's like, good luck to Eddie. Good luck to him. Enjoy trying that out. Then he said, Dillian Whyte's time has passed. And this is bad for Eddie Hearn's quote-unquote American takeover. He said he was going to do all these things and have all the American promoters shaking in their boots, and I'm just not seeing it. His biggest bargaining chip just lost. His big cash cow, Anthony Joshua, just lost in a hellacious and horrendous fashion, to the point where some people question if he'll ever be the same, if he was exposed, those types of things. And that was his American debut. And Eddie Hearn, I keep telling you the same thing. He's forewarning these guys. If you're going to take over, just do it. Why would you? It's just like the Trojan horse. The reason they were able to get inside is because they had people inside the Trojan horse, and they thought they were being gifted this massive Trojan horse. So they opened up the gates and, opened up the doors. But Eddie Hearn keeps telling you what he's going to do. He's saying he's going to sue for next year if things don't go his way. So that temper tantrum, that just shows you he's not in a position of power, because he's already panicking and forward thinking about basically being X'd out, being blocked out in the heavyweight picture, and not being able to deliver for his fighter. And there's so many things wrong with that from my perspective, and I've talked about this. For one, Dillian Whyte's already in a tough fight with Oscar Rivas. There's no guarantee he gets past that. So if Dillian Whyte were to lose, it's gonna make Eddie Hearn look extremely bad. because he's talking about suing to give Dillian White a position for a fight that he hasn't even gotten through. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take it one step at a time. If anything, the Joshua Ruiz fight should have showed you that, but he's already thinking and he's already putting that on wax. So what if Dillian White were to lose to Oscar Rivas? Now you're already on record threatening the WBC. How do you think they're going to take you? It just doesn't build relationships to me. You know, I wouldn't want to be threatened if I was the WBC or anybody else, or just myself. You know, I don't believe in petty threats. I feel like if you're going to do something, you don't really have to get on camera and tell people, just do it. You know, who does that? Who just announces that they're going to sue if things don't go their way? You know, and to think that the WBC don't have any protective clauses or fine print writing that would stipulate that they have the ultimate say in situations like mandatory is just unbelievable, because the WBC has been around for, you know, several decades and is one of the most prestigious belts, particularly, you know, in the world of boxing. So it's a generational family thing, you know, Jose to Mauricio Suleiman. So I would really doubt that they don't have lawyers or attorney, you know, just people in place writing clauses and making sure they're protected and they have the ultimate say, you know. So I don't understand where Eddie Hearn is planning to go. Plus, you just got to look at it. Bob Arum's been in the business since the 60s. You know, you don't think he has a strong relationship with the WBC? And Al Heyman's very powerful in the world of boxing as well. And he has the WBC champion in that division, Deontay Wilder. So you think the WBC is going to block a fight, that a major fight like Wilder Fury 2, which they ordered to happen, and then Tyson Fury wanted more tune-ups and went to ESPN, but they ordered that to happen, and you think the WBC is going to potentially ruin this major fight for fans, right? And, you know, in the process, take two promoters like, advisor Al Heyman, who has his promotional entity, PBC, and then also Bob Arum, and not appease them to make a UK promoter, Eddie Hearn's in Rematch Room, who just lost their biggest star, make them happy. It doesn't sound really believable, and I think that's why Bob Arum is just like, good luck, you know, good luck trying to do whatever you think you're gonna do, because he knows he's lawyered up. He has, you know, he's not worried. That's just basically what it shows. So this shows that Eddie Hearn's, at least behind the scenes, is sweating bullets with his cash cow Joshua losing in that fashion. So he's trying to strong arm a title shot, and he fears being X'd out or, you know, not being able to deliver for his fighters. But we'll see how it all plays out. Bob Arum did not look concerned at all. And Eddie Hearn, he's doing all these 30-minute, 1 hour and 30-minute long interviews, but is he delivering certain fights for his fighter? Kell Brook, that's his longtime guy, has been good to Eddie Hearn, never got an Amir Khan fight. Instead, you gave him Triple G, which bashed in his eye, you know, a fight he shouldn't have been fighting at that weight. And then right after, he had to fight Errol Spence. You know, Dillian White, you could have got him at least a title shot with AJ, but they were greedy and they didn't want to put AJ in there, and they had ample opportunity. So I don't feel bad at all for Dillian White, because you got behind a person who Deontay Wilder told you specifically what to do to get to fight him. The WBC specifically said, fight Luis Ortiz, get past that, we'll actually make you a mandatory. But Dillian White, Eddie Hearn wanted to do it their way, you know. Plus, you look at another champion at the time, Anthony Joshua. That was an in-house fight, should have been easy to make, but they wouldn't give Dillian White the amount of money he wanted. Now they're crying about a title, you know. Dillian White should have been fighting AJ before Gerald Miller, and then Gerald Miller failed a drug test. They could have put Dillian White, and he could have stepped in. He said he had already been training, and Eddie Hearn didn't want to put that in America. He didn't want to give Dillian White the title shot. So that Dillian White could have been fighting for 4 titles, and he could have been the Andy Ruiz. and he could have been the guy who stepped in, which would have still been a guy who's aligned with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. And guess what? They didn't do that. They allowed an Al Heyman fighter who they didn't think to beat come in and spoil the party, upset the apple cart, and actually beat him. So, why would I feel bad for Dillian Whyte when he's had angles to get to the WBC belt, and he definitely should have fought Joshua before Gerald Miller, and they scheduled Gerald Miller. And now the belts are gone. Now Eddie Hearn don't know what to do. Let me know what you guys think of Bob Arum's assessment. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.